can Kenny Golladay have the effect on Daniel Jones that Stefon Diggs had on Josh Allen last year? What is your take on that? Do you think it's possible? And do you view Kenny as that type of player, the type that Stefon Diggs was for Josh Allen?
I mean, that's kind of a loaded question, so I'm going to break it down by how I feel about it. So I do think Kenny Golladay can have that same impact that Stefon Diggs had with Josh Allen last year. I think he is a star wide receiver in the NFL, one of the best, probably like top 10, top 12, if I had to rank him. And it was a great addition for the Giants. But if we're just comparing Daniel Jones to Josh Allen, I don't think Daniel Jones has the same ceiling that Josh Allen does. I think Daniel Jones is a worse quarterback. I think that's been pretty clear over the last couple of podcasts. But the addition of Kenny Golladay will help Daniel Jones immensely. Daniel Jones had a passer rating of 132 on passes 20 yards plus downfield, and Kenny Galladay's yards per reception in his career is 16.8. Like, it's a match made in heaven, to be honest. So I like the signing. I do think that Daniel Jones has a bounce back year, but I don't think he has top 5 upside in fantasy. I don't know. I think he will be a high-end quarterback to come redraft time. And then obviously he's going to be in play a lot for DFS. So that's kind of just my take on it. I don't think he's that talented of a quarterback. Like, I think he's a starter, maybe. I don't know. I'm just not a big Daniel Jones fan.
I think that it's more likely that Daniel Jones is not the starting quarterback of the Giants in 2022 than it is that we're looking at him like a top 5 quarterback the way we look at Josh Allen now.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. Like you said, Daniel Jones is not Josh Allen. And not only that, but the reason for Allen's improvement wasn't just Stefon Diggs. You know, you don't add an elite wide receiver and suddenly go from being a quarterback with a 59% completion percentage to a 69% completion percentage and having a 6.7 adjusted yards per attempt to an 8.5 adjusted yards per attempt. Josh Allen's leap is so much more than just the addition of Stefon Diggs. And I think almost as important as the difference between those two quarterbacks, the difference between Jason Garrett and Brian Dable is immense. And I think that right there could be the biggest obstacle to Daniel Jones bouncing back. Now, like you said, I do agree that he has a bounce back season. I just don't think it's to the extent of improvement that Josh Allen did. That's how I feel about it. Like, yes, Kenny Golladay, clear-cut alpha, clear-cut wide receiver 1 on the Giants at this point, but offensive talent wasn't really the problem in New York, right? Like, they had Godius, they had Sterling Shepard, they had Evan Ingram. That's not like what Josh Allen had, 2 years ago when he was an average quarterback. They were throwing to Robert Foster and, Isaiah McKenzie and Lee Smith. Like, it was disgusting. Like, so yes, Daniel Jones, improved weapon. Golladay, good for the Giants in real life. Daniel Jones, I think he has a high ceiling on a week-to-week basis, but in terms of redraft, in terms of, being a safe quarterback ready to take that step into an elite tier, I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. But we could easily be wrong because they have a lot of weapons now. And I will say, I'll give Daniel Jones the benefit of the doubt last year. They did have injuries. Sterling Shepard was hurt. Saquon tore his ACL, was out for pretty much the entire season. So they lost some of their key guys last year, and they're getting both of those guys healthy, ready to go, and a healthy Kenny Golladay. So I like the Giants' offense in general. I'm hoping he takes the step forward that Josh Allen took, but I don't know if he's capable of doing that, to be honest.